I remember my teacher asking me once, Kushal, which university do you want to go to and what do you want to study? And I laughed. I was like, me? University? I'm not that smart. What I was really thinking was, I'm too dumb for university. I had such low self-esteem. Even my dad thought I was going to get C's and D's because I wasn't working hard. I never liked school. But I went from that type of student who thought you were either born dumb or born smart to getting into King's College London, which is one of the world's best university. After doing well in my GCSEs, A-level is where it actually all went downhill. Because I didn't have a strong base, I thought I fluked my GCSEs because towards the end, I started working really hard. But I never thought like I was actually smart. Even then, I didn't just believe in my hard work. Once I got into a grammar school where, if you know, all the top students go to grammar schools and they're super competitive, I looked around and everyone's got like 7, 8 A stars and I only got 2. And I'm like, I'm trying to go to these top universities like UCL, Oxford, King's. I've got no chance, like 2 A stars is nothing. And that really destroyed my confidence. It was absolutely insane. Some kids literally had just all A stars. And I was like, okay, I'm just too dumb for this whole academic thing. And that was basically the start of my downfall. I ended up doing terrible in my A-levels. I missed out on King's College London and UCL. And in my retake year is where I made some key changes that helped me learn how to learn. And once I learned how to learn, that's when everything changed. How did I manage to turn my academic life around? In this video, I will teach you what I learned the hard way. That top students are not special. It's what they do, their mentality and their systems is what sets them apart. I'm about to give you the biggest and the most simplest secret of top students. They do a bunch of practice papers, insane amount of practice papers. A lot of us, we think we need to make ridiculous amount of notes, color code them, memorize them. That's important, but that's only 20 or 30% of the work. The 80-70% of the work is actually doing practice papers. It's like in boxing, you can hit the bag, you can hit the mitts, you can look like a professional boxer. But if you don't know how to apply those skills against a moving opponent, aka inspiring, then you won't be able to translate that into an actual fight. So practice papers are one of the biggest things that distinguish your average student from your top student. Because in the exams, they're not going to surprise you with anything new. Most of the stuff is going to be the same things in a different font. The only way to actually understand what's going to come up in the exam and be best prepared is to do as many practice papers so nothing catches you by surprise. For GCSEs, the reason why I did so well was the amount of past papers I did. Whereas in A-levels, because my ego was so fragile, I didn't want to do enough past papers because I was just too scared of being not good enough. And I did quite terribly in my A-levels. In my retake year, I did ridiculous amount of past papers. And I would even bother the teachers give them extra past paper. Oh, can you please mark this for me? I would genuinely go and seek feedback. Because if you don't seek feedback, how are you going to learn? How are you going to know what you're bad at and what you're good at? How are you going to be able to spend your time efficiently? This is why it's so incredibly important to do practice papers and get feedback on that practice paper, because that's going to prepare you better than anything for the exams. And that's not a special thing. You just need to do as many practice papers as possible. And even if you think you're average smart, if you do practice papers, you will get very high grades. Another thing that sets the top students apart is they ask questions. They're always the kid that raises their hand. Although we make fun of that kid, oh, he's always got a question to ask, they're actually the students that perform the best. Why? Because they don't pretend when they need help. When I was struggling with my A-levels, especially with maths, because I did a year early in year 10, and then I did it for A-levels, and I had an entire year off. So I missed out on some key foundational stuff. And when I was struggling in the lessons, I was just too afraid of someone making fun of me for asking a stupid question. I mean, I didn't even need to ask it in the class. I could have asked the teacher after, but even then I was just too ashamed. I had too big of an ego, oh, what if the teacher thinks I'm dumb? Now with a more mature mind, I would rather the teacher think that I'm dumb than not ask those questions. I mean, what are they getting paid for? Why am I not making most of the opportunities that were there for me? Listen, your teachers are there to help you. So next time you need help, have zero shame in asking. If you knew it all, why are you in school? You're there to learn and they're getting paid for you to learn. To be afraid to ask questions and pretend that everything is fine when they're not. When you're struggling with your lessons, when you're struggling with certain topics and you stay quiet, it is only harming you. So it is at the end of the day your responsibility that whenever you're struggling, you ask for help. And that distinguishes top students from your average students because they get that feedback, which helps them improve. The top students don't let failure get to their heart. When I decided to retake my A-levels, I was coming up with a bunch of reasons and excuses for why I did bad. A lot of those reasons were very valid, but there's nothing I could do about it. What had happened, and I was letting the failure get to my heart. I was mad at myself, should have done this better, should have done that better. See, not just the top students, but also top athletes, they don't let failure get to their heart. I saw an interview by Anthony Joshua, which changed everything for me and which got me out of that rut of making excuses and coming up with a bunch of reasons that were just holding me back. And that quote was, "Don't let success get to your head and failure to your heart," after he lost to Ruiz. And with that mentality, he was able to avenge his loss and he became world champion again. And this quote absolutely changed my life. And I looked forward. What is it that I can do that's in my control now? And the best thing I could do was to fail as much as possible during my academic year. What do I mean by that? Make as many mistakes as possible in all my practice papers so I don't make them on exam day. See, I'd rather my ego take a hit than I turn up to the exam hall and I'm shaking, I'm nervous, and I'm like, who was I trying to fool? Who was I pretending for? The top students are not afraid of making mistakes. They know that's the biggest secret to learning. They embrace mistakes. They look for them. They do as many past papers, as much practice as possible, that they make the mistakes while they are in their sparring rather than on the fight night. Ask yourself, would you rather make the mistakes now or in the exam hall? Of course, it's quite clear you'd rather make the mistakes now. Moving forward, be very honest with yourself. Mark yourself with complete honesty. Don't be like, oh, you're looking at mark scheme, you're like, I would have got that. Don't do any of that. I've been there. Trust me, it's not gonna serve you. And make as many mistakes as you possibly can. There's a beautiful quote by Thomas Edison. He says, "I have not failed. I just found 10,000 ways that don't work." Another thing that top students do is that they don't drop everything that's good in their life. See, input does not mean output. It's the quality of input. It's the quality of work that also matters. Working smart is the key, not just working hard. Of course, hard work is important. You need to put in the hours. But if you just give up things like fitness, your hobbies, things that were making you feel happy, things that were helping you relax, things that were improving your mental health, but because you want to save more time, you must do well in these exams, well, you still may do well, but you just made your life hell for no reason. The top students still have a life. All the top students that I know that absolutely smashed their A-levels, they were still socializing, playing sports, having fun, and working hard at the same time. Whereas me, every single thing I enjoyed about life, I just dropped it. So now study is making me miserable and life in general feels miserable. This takes such a massive toll on your mental health that you no longer want to revise either. If your mind is not in the right place, trust me, everything will fall apart. To conclude, the top students do not make studying their entire life. They still find space and time to enjoy the things that they love doing. I went from telling my teacher that I was too dumb to get into any sort of university to retaking my A-levels and graduating from King's College London. Not because I became all of a sudden more intelligent and all of a sudden I took a secret pill and increased my IQ point. The fundamental thing that changed is I learned how to learn. If you're sitting thinking that I'm not smart enough, I was you and I was wrong. Don't let those limited beliefs that a teacher may have told you, a friend may have told you that you're not good enough. Who are they to define you? And who is that negative voice who is trying to define you, who's trying to tell you you're not good enough? How dare that voice define you? Listen, write your destiny. Try your best, and then if you don't succeed, fair enough. But at least you owe yourself that. Don't just believe that negative voice that you have got from somewhere. It's not fair on you. Like, Why would you do that to yourself? Why not back yourself? And what's the worst that can happen if you fully believe in yourself and you try your best? I bet you will be more proud of yourself even if you come up short, than count yourself out and be like, oh, I'm not smart enough, and miss out on big opportunities when you clearly may have been capable, and then you're always left with the what if I tried my best. Those what ifs are not worth it. Go find out what you're made of. Go find out what the voice that you have kept hidden, that you have kept quiet, that is telling you that you're more capable than you think you are, that you're stronger than you think you are, that you're smarter than you think you are. For once in your life, listen to that voice for your own sake. I believe in you. I know you can do it. Try your best, even if you come up short. Listen, hard work is never wasted. If it doesn't pay off now, it will pay off some point down in the line. So I wish you all the best with your exams. And once again, remember that the top students are not inherently smarter than you. They just know how to learn, and so can you. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe. And please, if you have any questions, drop them in the comment below. I know how difficult academic years are. I mean, I had to retake all 3 of my A-levels. I know how lonely you can feel. So there is no shame in asking for help. Consider me your big brother. I'm more than happy to share anything that I have learned the hard way, as long as it helps you. So don't hesitate to ask any questions, and all the best.